let's get right into it because there's a lot we want to talk about. But I guess the most timely news is your new album, and by the time this episode airs, it'll be out for a couple weeks. So I believe it comes out early September.
Actually, it comes out September 29th.
Okay. So it'll be available by the time people are listening to this, watching this, etc. So tell us a little bit about it, because I know it's your first full-length solo release. So a big deal for you.
It's been a couple of years in the making. We did an EP that had 5 songs, and then we added some extra songs to that later on. But this one is called Apocrypha. It's 12 songs. And I just wanted to do something that was just kind of straight rock. I'm singing on it, so that's different. We have Shad Wilhelm on drums, Patrick on a lot of the rhythm and fill guitars. We're currently about to start rehearsing next week for the live show for it, for my first ever full band live show. Patrick played bass on it as well, but we're going to have Jesse Davidson do the live stuff. He techs and crews for Lita, and he's in his own badass band. So yeah, I'm just super, super stoked to finally get out there and be a front person.
Right.
So,
Yeah, but I was gonna if I may jump in. I'm sorry, Dave.
Go ahead.
Is this your first time? I mean, I know you're uber badass, extreme, kick ass in every way, but for someone who doesn't know, like I have never seen you front.
yeah.
Is this the very first time? I mean, surely you've fronted a band for a song, 2 songs, a set ever? Never?
Yeah, not really. I mean,
Wow.
I've been doing acoustic stuff with Patrick. That's the closest thing. I've done some solo acoustic shows, 3-hour acoustic sets at the Hard Rock with just
By
me
yourself? By yourself?
Yeah. So
wow. Okay. That's kind of the same thing. I mean, you're almost nude at that point.
Yeah. That was probably the most terrifying thing ever, was transitioning from not singing at all to, okay, we're going to do these acoustic shows where it's Patrick and I, where we both share lead vocals and we go back and forth on harmonizing, to just doing it completely raw, all by myself. Especially for 6 hours. That's a lot of material. And I always thought I was really good with lyrics until I had to do 3 hours. Then I'm like, oh my God, how does a Sweet Child of Mine start? Don't go into the wrong verse.
Yeah. I need the number to your therapist, because I don't think that I could even do like 3 songs, less 3 hours by myself.
Yeah.
Because of the nerves. You know, I got to have like a bunch of badasses, you know, like threatening badasses behind me before I can even like surf, you know. So that's excellent.
That's a little bit about where I was going to go with my question. That's a great segue, because I was going to ask if you're singing on your full-length album. We all know your skills on guitar, and you've obviously recorded guitar in the studio and some backup vocals and things like that. But how was your approach to lead vocals in the studio for a full-length album?
Woo. I've always loved singing. I've always wanted to sing, but I never had that confidence until really these acoustic shows helped so much. They really helped my voice grow. So getting into the studio for this one, as opposed to my EP, where I had never, ever sang in front of anybody, it was just, it was a completely different experience, because Patrick recorded my vocals for both things. And he's such a great coach. He tells, you know, he's so good with it. He tells you how to sing. He'll always be like, you're a little, he never tells you if you're sharp or if you're flat. Oh, just go a little bit above it. And I was like, oh, okay. But I had a lot more confidence this time around. I would go in knowing exactly what lyrics I would want, as opposed to the EP, where I still had a lot to figure out. But Patrick also helped a lot with the writing process too. But this time I had so much more confidence, and I think it'll really come across in the recording on this one too. I have a very soft voice. as opposed to a very powerful one, which I always wanted a super, heavy, powerful voice. But, I grew up listening to Evanescence and stuff like that. So I think she really had a strong effect on my voice.
Right.
That's good. And I was going to give Pat another, trophy here. I know how lucky you are to have him as your coach and as a feather in your hat for while the red light's on, while you're in the studio, because just having him there, because he's so awesome.
Yes.
Just, and just having him and the work that you guys have done together, and the harmonies and stuff that you guys are doing when you guys are doing your duo.
Yes.
You're just kind of sitting there looking at him going, damn, right? So you're kind of soaking that. That's a really cool. A lot of singers don't, who are kind of up and coming, or kind of have that, one day I got to do that. So that's kind of where I'm going with you and having Pat there and I got to tell you the history I have with Pat from just fucking so long ago, and just, I didn't even know he sang. Not to turn this into Pat's thing. A lot of people didn't realize that he sang, and I'm talking Union Underground shit, Yeah. When he kind of broke out of that and reinvented himself.
Yep.
Everybody knows it's well documented now, that reinvention.
Yes.
He was a bat out of hell. And I heard him sing and I was just like, hey man, stop being better than me.
I was going to say, because Pat is the first to admit it, he really worked hard on his vocals, because we all knew him. It's interesting that we're talking to Nikki right now about her vocals, because she's primarily known as a great guitarist. But I'm glad we are, because I remember, talking to Pat, and he said he worked really, really, we knew him as a killer guitar player, great musician, but we didn't really know him much as a singer. And then he worked on his vocals, worked very hard on them. And then I remember him sending me some stuff, and I was like, oh my God, dude, your voice is just it's just come leaps and bounds from last I heard it. Not that it was ever bad, but there was a lot of technique and a lot of restraint and a lot of power, and just all that coaching or whatever came together. So he's got to be a great mentor.
It's kind of his own too. He created that. That goes with the reinvention. So back to Nikki, I just think that, dude, just having him there and going, hey, can you show me how to do that? Cool. All right, cool. Got it. Yeah. And then you're putting that in your pocket and killer. Mm-hmm. So we're excited about your record, and just hoping this just kills it.
Yeah. So what are the plans on it? Tell us how many songs, for people that don't know you, what would be the mix of influences? And then what are you going to do to hopefully go out and tour it and promote it?
Yeah. So I have so many influences. It's 12 songs, tons of guitar harmonies. Oh my God. This is my dog, Rollo.
Yeah. Hey, Rollo. I've seen Rollo before. He shows up in photos.
Ridiculous. Oh my God. Anytime the camera's on, here we go. I guess when our friend Chase, who mixed and mastered it, he heard a lot of Maiden. Obviously, I play so much Maiden all the time. That's going to come out regardless. Avenged Sevenfold was a huge influence of mine growing up, hearing, because I was 14, I think, when City of Evil came out, and it was new. Lead guitars were kind of back, and I was like, yes, just solos everywhere. So I feel like it's got that, of course. I'm a big ballad person. There's only one or two. Two. But I love the edge, a touch of creepiness here and there in the album. I'm a pretty weird person. I love horror movies, so a lot of stuff lyrically with that. But it was written a lot lyrically during the pandemic too. So it's a lot about isolation and not really being sure what's going to happen. We didn't know if we'd ever be seeing people again, or if we could see our families in Texas when we were on this crazy lockdown here in California. So
you were sort of lyrically, it sounds like you were beginning in the dark.
Yes.
You were in a zero place, right? Yeah. You were like blinders, kind of like, what's What's going to happen when I open the front door?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. A song called Lunacy that's kind of about the pandemic, just being unsure of, everybody was just attacking each other. Nobody knew what was going to happen. So a lot of the songs are kind of about that. But it's actually very musically a happy sounding song. So I always like to have those kind of contrasts. But I'll be doing 2 shows in Arizona in December with the live band. We have my album release party on the 28th here in Hermosa Beach. Like I said, the very first one ever. So we're really, really, really stoked for that one.
Yeah.
Starting rehearsals next week. We just recorded a music video for the first single on, I don't know what my days are anymore. It was Tuesday, so a couple of days ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a 9-hour shoot with
What's the name of the song?
It's called Where the Demons Lie.
Perfect.
So
Sounds like a pandemic song.
Yeah, it's like a horror movie from what we could see on the screen. So it looks so awesome from
Yeah. I follow you on social media, and I saw some shoots from the video shoot, and our pal David Castillo was there taking some photos and some still shots, I guess. And it looks like it kind of the imagery conveys the song title. So when can we see the video?
Ooh, really hoping that it's going to be done at the end of September, right before the album release, so we can really push that and help push the album. So hopefully the last week of September, we'll be releasing that to coordinate with the whole release.
Yeah.